You might laugh at The Simpsons for being just a yellow cartoon filled with slapstick humor and donut jokes. But what if I told you that this animated sitcom might be hiding something deeper? Something eerily prophetic. Because time and time again, The Simpsons hasn't just entertained us. It has predicted the future. From Trump's presidency to FaceTime, smartwatches, and even the rise of AI, The Simpsons has had a creepy track record of getting it right. And now, fans are diving deep into episodes, frames, even background posters, searching for clues about what The Simpsons may have seen coming for 2026. And what they found? Well, brace yourself, because you won't believe what The Simpsons may have already shown us. Let's dive in. The Tech Takeover. In Season 23, Episode 17 titled Them Robot, Mr. Burns replaces the entire Springfield power plant workforce with robots. It's classic Simpsons, a goofy dystopian gag where Homer ends up as the last human employee surrounded by AI. But there's something much darker tucked in the background. A barely noticeable sign reads, "Human help wanted. Apply by 2026, before it's too late." Funny, sure, but prophetic? Potentially, especially when you pair that with real-world headlines today. McDonald's testing robot kitchens, AI replacing writers, customer support, and even therapists. Not to mention OpenAI, Boston Dynamics, and the rise of robot law enforcement trials in cities like New York and San Francisco. The timing is uncanny. This episode aired over a decade ago, long before ChatGPT, long before robots were doing backflips, and yet it nails the AI employment anxiety with terrifying precision. President Kamala Harris? The episode Bart to the Future is often hailed as the Simpsons prophecy moment. Lisa becomes president after a catastrophic Trump presidency has ruined the country financially. That alone would have been enough to send chills in hindsight. But there's more. Lisa, standing at the podium in her first address, is wearing a sharp purple blazer with a white pearl necklace. A look nearly identical to what Kamala Harris wore at her 2021 inauguration. Was it just a coincidence? Or are we looking at a scripted timeline? With Biden already in his 80s and 2026 possibly being a transitional year for leadership, it's not far-fetched that Kamala might step into the top role. The Simpsons might have just nailed the visual and the political succession years in advance. The dollar collapse, US dollar doomed. That's the front page headline in a Simpsons newspaper gag from season 11. At the time, it was seen as absurd satire. Now it feels disturbingly plausible. With the US printing trillions during the pandemic, inflation biting harder than it has in decades, and countries like China and Russia aggressively pushing de-dollarization strategies, financial experts are beginning to ask, is the dollar as invincible as we thought? In another episode, there's a nod to Fed coin releasing 2026. And if you think that's just a joke, think again. The US Federal Reserve has been working on a central bank digital currency, CBDC, quietly under the radar. It may go live, wait for it. A cartoon about yellow people might have just given us the exact year when cash becomes obsolete. Virtual reality schooling, 4:45. In a blink and you'll miss it sequence from season 29, Lisa is shown attending school not in person, but inside a full immersion VR simulation. This episode aired before COVID, before Zoom schools, before AI tutors, and now, kids around the world are used to attending class through screens. Meta, Apple, and Google are all betting big on VR platforms for education. And let's be honest, by 2026, the idea of sitting in a physical classroom might seem just as old school as floppy disks. The Simpsons saw it coming, and ironically gave us a heads up through a cartoon kid with spiky hair and a saxophone. The Mars prediction. You probably remember Elon Musk promising humans on Mars by the mid-2020s. You may not remember The Simpsons beating him to it. In season 27, episode 1, Lisa signs up for a mission to colonize Mars. The launch year? Clearly marked as 2026. And that's not science fiction anymore. SpaceX's timeline has shifted a bit, but Musk's original public estimate for a Mars mission aligned perfectly with that number. The rocket is real. The suits are real. NASA's already training for extraterrestrial radiation levels. This might be The Simpsons' most literal prediction, complete with mission patches and Space Force-style flags. If we see a Martian colony crew with a kid playing saxophone, we'll know they watched. Food shortages and insect protein. In one particularly grotesque episode, Bart chows down on a snack made of cricket protein. At the time, it was gross-out humor. But now, it's global policy. The United Nations and World Economic Forum are actively encouraging insect-based diets as a sustainable alternative to meat. Food companies in Europe and North America are already producing cricket bars, mealworm snacks, and grasshopper flour. The shocking part? Many of these companies have cited 2025 to 2026 as their mass distribution target years. The Simpsons wasn't grossing us out. It was warning us what dinner could look like when the shelves run dry. Welcome to the protein crisis. Bring your appetite. The Global Blackout. In one of the Halloween Treehouse of Horror specials, Springfield experiences a terrifying global blackout. Satellites fall, phones die, even nuclear plants shut down. Sounds extreme, right? Except, NASA has confirmed that the solar maximum, when solar storms peak and threaten power grids, will hit in late 2025 to early 2026. And cybersecurity experts are constantly warning about threats to infrastructure from rogue AI or nation-state actors. This Simpsons episode might not be science fiction. It might be a dramatization of the literal vulnerability we're walking into. Controlled weather geoengineering is real. Cloud seeding is real. HARP is real. But The Simpsons already had an entire episode where Springfield's weather was manipulated by a sky grid of satellites. In the episode, Lisa uncovers that the government is controlling rainfall and cloud patterns using advanced tech. Get this, 2026. With global talks around climate engineering becoming more public, and China already admitting to using cloud seeding over the Beijing Olympics, this one hits way too close. The future isn't raining, it's scheduled. The rise of surveillance culture. There's a disturbing Simpsons episode where the government installs cameras in every part of Springfield. Sidewalks, homes, public restrooms, even on people's toasters. It was funny in the 2000s. In 2026, it feels inevitable. China already has hundreds of millions of facial recognition cameras. New York has expanded its AI surveillance fleet. Your phone already tracks your face, your steps, your voice, your location. And in the Simpsons episode, the last frame warns, permanent surveillance measures, effective 2026. Did they write a joke, or did they read the Patriot Act's sequel? The return of the Simpsons prophet? Here's where things get weird. Hardcore fans believe there's a secret writer behind The Simpsons, someone with intel, or access, or something else. They point to writer John Swartzwelder, who rarely gives interviews, lives off the grid, and once joked, "I just write what's already happened." Now, as 2026 looms, fans are watching The Simpsons more like a coded message board than a cartoon. What's next? A pandemic sequel? Alien contact? Or something worse? Because if you look close enough, the show has always told the truth. It just wore a yellow face and made you laugh first. So what do you think? Is this all just dumb luck? Or has The Simpsons been leaking the blueprint to our future this whole time? 2026 is just around the corner. And if even half of this stuff comes true, we may need to stop laughing and start paying attention. Drop your favorite Simpsons prediction in the comments. And if you've spotted any hidden 2026 clues, tell us below. We're watching everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell before the AI shuts us down for good.